Alright, folks, I think we are live. And first of all, this is a bit of impromptu stream that I decided to make. Just to, instead of making a long video and talking about a lot of things, I decided to make this stream because I think it's important to, as the title says, sum up a couple of other things that have been happening between the United States and the EU. Number one, this is the first one I will say, no country in the EU trusts us in the United States right now. A simple truth. A couple of them might be willing to be bribed, like Hungary. More, let's not call it the country, but the ruler of the country, and a couple of more, they are willing to be bribed. And that's all fine and dandy, but that's their issues. But as for the rest of Europe, we don't trust the United States. We don't trust in any peace proposals. We consider what is being doing to Ukraine blackmail. We consider that the United States is allied with Russia. After all, it's repeating the narrative that comes from the Kremlin. So, what's the doubt? I don't feel like there is any doubts about it when we can see and when we can understand that the United States is actually doing this. Okay, the United States is completely acting as an ally of Russia. It's repeating the same mantras, it's repeating the same territorial concessions to Russia, it's repeating the same blackmail of support, kind of like selling support for money. It continues to try and destroy the European Union. The President of the United States has openly called for the end of the European Union. And if some Americans think that, oh, the Europeans will understand that this is just Trump talking, okay, and doing his shit, he's bombing Venezuela or whatever, they will understand this. Well, let me tell you this. No, they won't. We don't. All we see is this. A sitting president of the United States is calling for the destruction of our countries and our economy. A sitting president in the United States is blackmailing a European country into submitting to the will of an authoritarian regime that is invading a democratic state. A sitting president is friendly friends with an authoritarian regime that wants to occupy Europe, that wants to destroy our democracies, that wants to destroy our way of life. A sitting US president. So I will tell you this as a European with a lot of different European origins in me. German, French, Portuguese, and a couple of more. I won't talk about them because I don't want to. Mr. Trump? No. Just this. No. And I don't care if some people say that he's old, that he's not in his senses. The people around him are not old, and the people around him have their senses. They're young, they're capable, and they know exactly what is happening. Also, the entire state apparatus of the United States, the Congress people, okay, the Republicans, the Democrats, the army, everyone can see this happening. And they are doing jack shit, and Jack has left town. This is all we are seeing, okay? We are seeing the United States destroy the entire relationship it had with Europe. And I keep listening to the same old rhetoric. Now that Trump is gone, you have to fend for yourselves. It would be better if the United States was gone, because that way we would have to fend for ourselves, and we wouldn't be submitted to the eternal babbling of a corrupt person and a corrupt government that doesn't even provide healthcare to his citizens. That thinks that increasing GDP is very good, when the life quality of each and every citizen of the United States is now gone. I know everyone was hoping for a very cheerful Christmas Christmas message, but I have no good news to give you. None at all. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you, and this will be the end of me talking about it, is this. Whatever agreement is achieved in Ukraine, whatever you listen to in the news, it's not the end of it. And the United States progressively is going to find an extremely hostile environment in Europe to American citizens. Because up till now, there was kind of a sense of indifference. But what I can see, and what anyone with a functioning brain cell can see, is this. What the United States is doing right now will impact in their own citizens. I don't do social media, but I monitor it sometimes to understand what is happening, what people are talking about, to understand, to have a feel of the ground, of the terrain, you know. And more I listen to this. This is a simple sentence. They don't want our tourists. They don't want our immigrants. Okay, then what are they doing here in Europe? We don't want them here. Let them go back to their Trump land and live in their good old United States. And if before people would mock and joke about the eternal doubts of Americans in Europe, okay, and their craziness about things like ice in the sense of frozen water, okay, not ice the idiots, continuously drinking water, okay, the way we use AC, air conditioning, okay, all of that. If before people would joke about it, now people get irritated about it. I know of a person that has a restaurant that simply prefers not to serve Americans. If that person, I won't say if it's a he or a she, I don't want to damage anyone's business, but I know the person. If they can get away with saying something like, for example, oh, we have no reservations. We have reservations. I'm sorry, you cannot enter the restaurant. They will, because it simply does not compensate to have loud-mouth, annoying people that are going to annoy other patrons of the restaurant. Most of them, the large majority of them, foreigners, such as and nationals. Okay, so Portuguese, Spanish, a lot of French, a lot of Dutch, a lot of Germans, a lot of them, a lot of British too. Okay, and people simply don't want to. They don't want the hassle. Okay, and I have a feeling that this is only going to get worse. Okay, because as time moves on, as these actions of the United States pile up on each other, the natural consequence is that it's going to get worse instead of getting better. And I don't think any Americans have a conscience of this happening. I also go and watch Democratic streams and YouTubers in the United States, I also go and watch them. And what I find is they are still talking about a reality that no longer exists. Do you understand? They are talking about things that no longer exist. They are talking about things like trust, things like NATO doing this or doing that, that no longer exist because there is not that trust anymore. And I honestly see a future in which you will have no USA in NATO. It will be gone. If this trajectory continues, people simply will not have the United States in NATO, and this is what Mr. Putin wants. This is his lifelong goal. The lifelong goal of Vladimir Putin is to, number one, destroy this relationship between Europe and the United States. He has succeeded. Number two, to provoke the fall of the United States. And number three, to restore the USSR. Number three, he doesn't have the manpower to do it anymore. He has squandered that opportunity in Ukraine. And he has proven that his army is incompetent like he is. That those days are gone. Poland, for example, has conscripted everyone. And other countries in Europe, if forced to do so, they will do it. Even Switzerland is repurposing its nuclear fallout bunkers so that they are prepared in case of war. And you always think of the United States as the great nuclear superpower that it is. But other countries also have nuclear weapons in Europe. Other countries also have means to defend themselves from nuclear weapons. And other countries also have the means to engage in a direct attack on Russia that they don't want. No one wants to attack Russia. Russia wants to attack everyone. And your president, Americans, your president, for whatever reasons, I don't give a fuck if it's about the Epstein files, if it's about, I don't know, some kind of Zionist conspiracy theory that I have heard so much about. I don't really care about that. For whatever reasons, he is supporting him. When he met with him in Alaska, he gave him political leverage inside of his country. It silenced a lot of voices inside of his country, something that Putin wanted, and he got it. And now he's going to continue to toy with you. So whatever happens in Ukraine, from this point on, it only matters for the Ukrainians themselves and for Europe. And Europe cares about the Ukrainians, unlike the Americans. So, in this video, just to sum up what I'm talking about, is this. That relationship between Europe and the United States, that's that. No matter how many pleasant words and sincere words that you listen to in the news, that's all bullshit. It will be convenience. When it's convenient for Europe, now the United States is going to understand what it means to be treated like what Mr. Trump always say, that the Europeans are nasty. Because right now he's going to turn each and every European an enemy. We are all going to be your enemies. And Mr. Trump is building that. Because this is not going to stop. Talk to anyone that understands politics. Talk to anyone that understands economics. Talk to anyone that understands sociology. Talk to anyone that understands these things. Don't go for my word, by my words. Okay? Don't go. Okay, I'm just a normal guy making a stream, talking with people. Nothing more. Making some videos, talking about politics, talking about a lot of things. And this is what is going to happen. Okay? The more Mr. Trump attacks the EU, the more centralized it will become. And if more right-wing leaning parties get into power, they are going to understand that the United States is a threat against their dominance, and they are going to engage in hostile actions against the United States. If Mr. Trump does things like attack Greenland, if he does things like that, if he tries to disrupt the order, the consequences will be dire. You can have a moment in history where there will be a total blockade towards the United States in Europe. As we progress away from needing oil and LNG, as we progress away from it, and we will. Most countries are already above 50% of energy production in green energy. This in the space of less than a decade. So, 10 years more, probably, we won't need it. We won't use it. And no one can force us to buy your product. No one can force a European citizen to buy an American product. No one can force us to do that. You can throw them at us dirt cheap, but if Europeans don't want to buy it, we won't buy it. And another important saying, okay, is that we also cannot sell to you. There are other countries lining up, and they have been doing it, to buy your percentages of market. And as this market interaction decreases, the importance of any political agreements also decrease. I have said this once, twice, I don't even know. I think I must say it almost in every video when I talk about it. Economics knows no morals. Economics knows no morals. If you are useless to me economically, I don't need to listen to you. Oh, I'll send a battleship. Okay, and I'll send mine too. And then we have a war. It's not profitable to anyone. You won't have enough money to support the war. We might even make alliances, military alliances, with China. That is not off the table. Anything is possible. Anything is possible, because the United States and their president have destroyed the order that was keeping the world more or less peaceful. And with the shit they are doing in the Middle East, they have been doing since the Gulf War, this was the trajectory that everyone was expecting. Okay? So, I just hope that all of you in the United States start to grow a conscience and to understand the consequences that all of this will have in the future. This will have consequences, dire consequences to this entire relationship. Right now, I can tell you, there isn't a single country in Europe that trusts in the United States. None. You are at the same level. You look. If we trust in Russia, if we trust in Russia, zero. The United States is about here, barely. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So, anywho, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, because I think you should all start to think about it. Because look, we look at the United States. The Supreme Court says Trump cannot deploy the National Guard. He does it anyway. He cannot bomb Venezuela, and steal Venezuelan ships. He does it. So, do you think we trust you? Right now, in this moment, I don't trust anything that comes out of the United States. Because if you lie once, you will always lie. Once a liar, always a liar. Like the English say, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is basically what is happening here. Okay? And the fact that Mr. Trump is and the Heritage Foundation are calling out for the end of the European Union and paying off disruptive groups inside of the EU, constantly trying to attack our decisions, this is only going to have one effect, and that is we are going to double down on it. And we are going to continue to do it, and we are going to start to ignore you. We are going to start to ignore you economically, we will dump your debt, we will let your country sink, and we won't give a fuck. This can and will happen. It will not happen right now, but as soon as we stabilize things, this will happen. And it won't be this government probably that will deal with it. It will be a next government. And if you have a democratic government that comes with a lot of talk, we are going to remember this moment right here. And we are going to remember that you are only one election away from electing another idiot like Trump, because you elected him twice. You elected Bush twice. Do you think we don't learn? We are not Americans, okay? We learn with history. The European Union, the European project, is a proof that we learn with history. And if you goddamn fuckers think you are going to divide up Europe again with Russia, fuck off. You are not going to do it. We are not going to let you. And you can grab your social media, your AI crap, and you can go back inside of your country and continue to steal your citizens. You steal from your citizens in healthcare, you steal their taxes, you steal everything. Your policies have turned your country into a hellscape. And we don't want that lifestyle. We don't want it. And Americans coming to vacation in Europe, I think that's going to decrease. Because like I told you, this entire speech that I'm talking about, it's flowing under the wave. And as time progresses, it will become more apparent. More and more and more apparent. It will start with little things. It will start, for example, with someone not renting a house to an American. It will start with visas being denied. That already can happen. But let's not talk about that right now. We will talk about this as time progresses, which I think is the more proper. So, excuse me. A Merry Christmas to all. I'm sorry for this impromptu stream, and I hope everyone stays safe. So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I might drop something before the next New Year, and stay safe. Merry Christmas.